I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I've seen 2.5 years of a betrayal of American workers from this White House and this government, this Senate, the President of the United States. The White House looks like a retreat for Wall Street executives, except on the days it looks like a retreat for insurance executives, except on the days it looks like a retreat for drug company executives. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but when we saw a few weeks ago the nomination to be Secretary of Labor of Eugene Scalia, it just underscored again and again the betrayal of American workers by this government, by this president. Now, Eugene Scalia, he's the president's nominee to serve as Secretary of Labor. His job, Secretary of Labor, is to represent workers, to advocate for workers, to fight for workers, not to advocate for corporations, not to sell out to special interests, but to side with American workers. Yet, all you've got to do is look at his job. The president has sent us a corporate lawyer who's fought over and over to stop workplace protections, to undermine workers' safety, to cut and to depress workers' wages over and over and over again. Mr. Scalia, as an elitist, multi-million-dollar corporate lawyer, has repeatedly defended companies against whistleblowers. He defended Walmart against its workers, and he's nominated to be the Secretary of Labor. He defended a corporation against 30 women who had been sexually harassed at assembly plants, and he's going to be the Secretary of Labor. He defended other corporations against workers with disabilities after the companies violated the Americans with Disabilities Act, and he's going to be Secretary of Labor. Over and over, he fought to help the most powerful corporations against workers, asking the courts to put their thumb on the scales, to choose corporations over workers, to choose Wall Street over consumers, to choose health insurance companies over patients. He's always come down on the side of corporate interests, of special interests, always in the end betraying workers. And he's the president's nominee to be Secretary of Labor. He's defended union-busting corporations. Boeing has been rabid in its anti-union coercion. Scalia worked for them, advocating for them in their never-ending quest to stop workers from having a voice in their company. And he's going to be the president's Secretary of Labor. What Mr. Scalia doesn't understand, and what President Trump doesn't understand, is you can't say, the president, let me back up for a second. The president loves to say that he supports, that he's for workers, that workers are his friends, that he's a friend to workers. He loves saying that, but what he doesn't understand is you can't support workers individually without supporting workers collectively. You can't support workers individually without supporting workers collectively. You simply can't support workers if you attack unions. And we know what unions have brought to this country. Ever since the generally rapid decline of trade unionism, we've seen wages flat, we've seen benefits cut, we've seen retirements taken away from workers. You know, when people can organize and bargain collectively, they have higher wages, they have better health care, they have a retirement system. You can't support workers if you attack unions like Mr. Scalia has done. We need a Secretary of Labor who will actually fight for labor. It's not called the Secretary of Corporate Interests or the Secretary of Special Interests. It's called the Secretary of Labor. You're supposed to honor work and respect work. We need a Secretary of Labor who will fight for labor, not fight for corporate interests. It comes down, Mr. President, to whose side are you on? You on corporation side or you on American workers' side? Do you fight for Wall Street wealth or do you fight for the dignity of work? The president promised to fight for American workers. If you love your country, you fight for workers. Instead, this president has betrayed them over and over and over again. The nomination of Eugene Scalia to be Secretary of Labor is the biggest betrayal of them all.